Greetings and salutations, this is Imperator Vespasian and his trusty sidekick.
Hi.
Or is it the other trusty sidekick?
The other trusty sidekick.
The other trusty sidekick. Yeah. Right, we're bringing you today our Adeptus Mechanicus army. Well, what we've got of it so far. It's the army that comes in the Skitari box set, which contains the tank, this guy, the Dominus, and two half squads or two squads of infantry. We also got the box of Castellan robots and another box of infantry to flesh the army out a bit. Painting up the figures, I decided to go with one squad of these guys, and the rest are regular, what are they called? Rangers. So it's a very small army to start with. We intend on making it a lot bigger, but it does for the games we're doing at the moment, doesn't it? Yeah. And it has seen combat recently, hasn't it, in our campaign?
Yeah, it was the Rangers, I think.
Yeah. So, quick overview on who the Adeptus Mechanicus are. What do you know about them?
Not a lot.
Not a lot?
No.
Okay. Well, the Adeptus... Oh, God, this is complicated. Okay. The Adeptus Mechanicus are... they live on Mars. Or their capital is on Mars.
Yep.
Although they do live all over the galaxy. And they are in charge of technology.
Right.
AI is banned. You're not allowed to have artificial intelligences. I'll go more into that when I do the Castellan robots, because they're robots, and I'll explain about the stone men and everything. But for this particular video, it would go on too long. So, technology in the 41st millennium is highly advanced and everything, but most average citizens believe technology works based on religion. Right. Based on their belief in the Emperor. Right. And the Emperor, or the Omnisire, makes everything work. Okay. Now, to most citizens, the Omnisire is the Emperor. To the Mechanicus, about half the Mechanicus believe the Emperor is the Omnisire. Right. And half of them believe that the Omnisire is separate from the Emperor. Okay. It's rather complicated.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah,
then you get the Dark Mechanicum, which is even more complicated. We're not even going to talk about those guys. That's a whole video for itself. So, these chaps are the Adeptus Mechanicus, and they're the military wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Now, the Mechanicus also use things like use cyborgs, which are, well, in fact all of them are cyborgs technically, but they use servitors. Right. I haven't included the servitors in this army because we've already done the servitors in the Adeptus army, the Adeptus Adeptus army, so the servitors are in that army. So I'm not covering them in this video. So the Mechanicus are the people who are in charge of all the technology. And they build all the tanks, they run the Forge Worlds, they build all the spacecraft, they build all the weapons. They're basically in charge of all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And that was the original deal. Right. About 10,000 years ago, Earth was completely ruined. And the Emperor came to power and put Earth back together again. Right. And then he went out to Mars. The Martians, during the Dark Age of Technology, during the collapse of post-Dark Age of Technology, the Martians had large amounts of ships and stuff like that. They probably worked alongside the humans. But when everything fell apart, when the warp storms destroyed the hyperspace expressways, all that sort of stuff, and the war with the Iron Men and all that, the Martians became separated from humanity because they could no longer use warp drive, and it took a while to get from Mars to Earth. Okay. And when the Martians finally came back to Earth, Earth had been pretty much ruined. Most of it was rad wastes. Humans had devolved into barbarians, and so the Martians gave up and just tried to keep their own little empire going. Okay. When the Emperor came, he went to Mars and he had a deal with them. And the deal was the people on Mars would have their own stuff. They'd be in charge of the technology and everything.
Yeah.
And the humans would be in charge of running the Empire.
Right.
That was the deal.
Okay.
And I'm not going to go into what happened in the heresy. It's irrelevant. So to this day, the Martians still run all the technology in the Empire.
Okay.
So every Imperial fleet will have at least one black ship in it, which is a Martian ship, which
Right.
will effectively be a flying forge world,
Okay.
which will keep the troops supplied and everything. They will give their numbers out to the Imperial Guard. You'll have Imperial Guard tech priests and stuff like that, and
Right.
you also have tech priests in the Space Marines. What they do is Space Marines are pretty good with technology. They send them to Mars to be trained
Yeah.
as a tech guy. Although the Space Marines don't actually believe it's magic, they know it's machinery.
Okay.
So they know.
Yeah.
That, you know. In one of the books, probably several of the books, one of the books there's is it one of the Belisarius Call? I think it's one of the Belisarius Call books. It's either the one in the I'm trying to think. The one with the Space Wolves. It's either the one with the Space Wolves or the Great Work. Because in the Great Work, Belisarius Call is set now, and Belisarius Call is thinking back to what happened straight after what happened to Call in the Space Wolf book. And I can't remember what the Space Wolf book's called. Wolfbane. Because part of the Wolfbane book is about Belisarius Call as a young tech priest, and as time goes on, he becomes Belisarius Call, not the ruler, but the most important tech priest in Mars in 10,000 years of the future. But in the Great Work, he has some damage to his brain, which makes him remember things that happened when he was young, and so he remembers back to then. I can't remember which book it is anyway.
Right.
But there's certain bits where they're trying to get something to work, like I think they're trying to start an engine to a shuttlecraft, and the guy with him is sort of, we need to do the ancient rite, the holy rite of starting the engine, and Cole just says, no you don't, you just press the button and the engine starts.
Right, okay.
Because he doesn't believe in the scientific mummery about it. And a lot of it comes from the Foundation trilogy, which is written by Isaac Asimov, where technology becomes religious. So technology works because people worship the great galactic spirit.
Right.
And the Foundation, the new empire, they run everything with their technology. They build all the technology and give it out to everybody who joins their empire. But if anyone rebels against them, they use a thing called a hyperwave relay, which shuts all the technology down.
Right.
So anyone tries to rebel against them, they just switch the technology off.
Okay.
And then those people think they've been cursed by the galactic spirit.
Yeah.
Follow myself out.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's who these guys are. These guys are the military wing of the Adeptus Mechanicus.
Right.
They also run all the Titans and everything, technically.
Right.
Although some Titans are Navy and some Titans are Army. It's Astra Militarum. It's complicated, but these guys are the guys in charge of repairing them, keeping them running.
Right.
They're in charge of all the technology. I don't want to go into individual units. I'm just doing a quick overview. So we have the robots at the back. They're Castellian robots, very cool little machines. They are automatons. They have no AI. They can't think for themselves. They have a basic program, and they just carry out those orders given to them by the datasmith.
Right.
Then you have the Vanguard, the Skitarii Vanguard.
Yeah.
They use really high-tech, dangerous weapons, these radiation weapons, which tends to kill them over time.
What's that? Well, because it's radiation.
Yes.
Right.
And they don't really understand how it works.
Oh, fair enough.
It's ancient technology, and
Right.
no one in the future really knows how any of this stuff works.
It's brilliant.
Carl's probably one of the few people who does understand how it works, because he's not bound down by the religion.
Right.
The Mechanicus aren't allowed to create new technology
Okay. What's that?
because it might be dangerous.
Right.
So they only use old technology.
Right.
So they go around the galaxy looking for standard template constructors or a standard template construct, which we've done videos on those before. Quite simply, everything that is made in the 40k universe is something that's already been made by humanity at some point in the past 20,000 years.
Right.
And when you go to a new planet, you might find a standard template construct, which is basically the plans to a machine.
Yeah.
So the Land Raider, which you've been playing with, the other sidekicks have been playing with,
Yeah.
the Land Raider pattern was originally some sort of farming vehicle or heavy lifter, and it's made into a weapon because it's a tractor. Basically, it's a tractor with armour on it.
Okay.
So Space Marine armour itself is simply hostile environment armour, but it's used as military armour. So everything we have in 40k was used for something else in the past, quite simply. So everything works using copies of standard template constructs. As to what standard template constructs are, they could either be some form of instruction manual on how to build something, or it could be an actual AI, a functioning AI like Cortana or something, which knows how to build something.
Right.
And so you'd say, I need to build this, and the AI says, right, you need some iron. And you say, well, where do you get iron from? And the constructor says, well, you need to mine it. You need to find this type of rock, and then we'll burn it really hot and get the iron out of it. And that's this STC contains every bit of information you need to build that one thing. Which means you also need other STCs to make other STCs work.
Right.
Then you have standard template constructors, which what the black ships are.
Yeah.
They are machines which build the actual thing for you.
Right.
So you don't need the standard template construct. You have the constructor, but all the constructor does is make that one thing.
Right.
In one of the books, I can't remember it off the top of my head, the Space Marines find a operational standard template constructor, and it is built to make these, or the earlier version of these, robots. But the problem, they switch it on and start making robots, and then they find out that the STC, the AI which runs the constructor, has been tainted by chaos.
Right.
And so it starts producing demonic engines.
Yeah.
Which I think they have to destroy the world in the end.
Right.
Because it's dangerous. I think isn't it the one with? It might be the one with the black guys. The Space Marines are entirely black. They wear green armour. See, if the other sidekick was here, he'd know who they were. He doesn't like them. He hates them. Green guy, salamanders. Yeah, I think it's the salamanders. It might be the salamanders.
Yeah, I know he doesn't like them.
Yeah, this is the salamanders then, right? As he mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was those guys. So they had to tunnel underground in mole tanks to get to the STC to destroy it, and it's all complicated stuff. Anyway, sorry, we've just gone past these guys. Then you get electro priests. Electro priests are exactly what it says on the tin. They're priests who use ancient technology as weapons, just like anything else. But these guys, they're typically used entirely for close combat or short-ranged combat, and they're used for. They're effectively, in the books, they're used more as a police force. Whenever someone is tracking down, they send the electro priests after him. They're a bit like ninja assassin type things. I've only got one unit here so far. That's what they are. Then you have the Dune Crawler, which is a tank. It's the nearest they get to a tank. Mars is not the most hospitable of places, and so a lot of machines had legs, which is where the Titans come from. So that's all it is. 3 units of Rangers. These are the standard infantry of the Mechanicus army, and a Dominus, who is the commander. Is that everything? That's everything, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he's the Tech Priest Dominus, and a pretty good character to use in combat.
Right.
And whenever I look at this guy, I just can't get Belisarius' Call out of my head for many reasons. Because this is the figure they used to illustrate the book.
Right.
So it's basically Belisarius' Call.
Right.
But he's just a Dominus, a generic Dominus. There's quite a few knocking around. Every Forge World will have, I think, 8. Oh no, that's the Dark Mechanicum has 8, don't they? Yes. The Dark Mechanicus works everything on 8.
Right.
I think these guys work everything on 7s. So they're 7 Dominus, but 1 Master Dominus, stuff like that. The Dark Mechanicus have 8 Dominus. Something to do with the Dark Gods. I don't know. I haven't read that book.
Right.
So I've come across them in the books.
Yeah.
And it has been explained in the books, but I didn't really pay attention.
Right.
There was other stuff going on. I was trying to remember. So that's the overview of the army. You have played with it, haven't you?
Yeah. The
other sidekick has played with it.
Yeah, the Rangers were in the last campaign.
But we did have someone was playing them in the Lion episode of our campaign.
Don't know, I wasn't.
Where they're trying to hold the town square.
Yeah, I wasn't in that one.
Oh, you weren't in that one. You weren't here then.
No.
So it was you over there.
It was
Yes.
me,
Yes. And how well do you think they played?
Well, I electrocuted zombies, so it was pretty cool.
Yeah, the Electro Priests.
sounds cool.
Yeah, the Electro Priests are absolutely great against things that are small and
Right.
have low toughness. They can do huge amounts of damage. I'm not entirely going into the rules yet, but these guys are. They used ranged weapons.
Right.
They used what is it? The arquebus? Not the arquebus. No, the gravitic rifle, which is a heavy weapon, and the arquebus, both of which are pretty good weapons. They're rapid fire weapons. They're pretty good at sort of range fires. So you get to fire twice if it's within 15 inches. And if you get a 6, you -1 from the enemy's save roll.
Right. What does that mean?
Well, your save roll is whatever your save roll is. So this guy's save roll is 2+. So if he gets AP -1, then his save roll becomes 3+.
Right, so if you roll 3s, you save.
Yes.
Right.
So if you get 6s for any shot to hit, you -1 off your save roll.
Right.
So a Space Marine would save on a 4 in that case. It's not bad. Then you get the radium carbines. These chaps here are equipped with radium carbines.
Yep.
The carbines are assault weapons, so you can fire them while moving, and they fire 3 rounds.
Right.
So these guys go in for the long shot, the relatively long shot, range of 30 inches, rapid fire 2, rapid fire 1. These guys automatically fire 3 rounds per turn.
Right.
And it's assault, so it's pretty good weapon. If you get a 6 with a radium carbine, you do 2 wounds instead of 1.
Right.
So that's 2 saves the guy has to make that you hit. So I'd say these are actually better than these guys, but these are your mainstay infantry. So
Right.
these are also actually quite expensive. So anyway, I think that's the end of the video.
Yep.
Have you got any questions?
Don't think so.
Have I covered everything?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. This is your first gig, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You weren't really sure what we were doing.
No.
And yeah, that's it then.
Yeah.
Wow, boring, wasn't it? Okay, leave any comments in the comment section. Leave a like if you like the video. We're going to be doing individual videos on each unit, and we'll go into the rules and everything then,
Yeah.
and how they actually work, because you do have experience of some of the troops.
I'll probably have more questions then as well.
Yeah, but this is just an overview video, and I've tried to avoid a lot of the history stuff because we would be here for 2 hours trying to explain each individual thing. But we'll cover it in each individual unit, and then that's the best way of doing it.
Cool.
So it's goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me.
Goodbye.